The Israel-Hamas war has entered its 25th day. As the war rages, civilians in Gaza struggle to find the basics like food, water and medicine. Israel accuses Hamas of playing psychological games as well. Israel's military is engaged in heavy fighting with the Hamas terror group as it moves into the next phase of its retaliation following the October 7 attack. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has warned that the second phase will be long and difficult after weeks of brutal airstrikes. Meanwhile, after a two-day internet and other communications outage on Sunday, Gaza is back online with cellular services gradually restored. According to a report, the US has urged Israel to restore services in the besieged enclave. Also, America's position and stand on the war is very clear now. Let's check the details. This is Krishnendu. United States Vice President Kamala Harris has said that Washington has no intention of sending troops to Israel or Gaza amid the ongoing conflict. There is no intention or plan to send combat troops to Israel or Gaza, Harris said in an interview with CBS's 60 Minutes that aired Sunday when asked about the possibility of US troops. Harris, who was involved in discussions and phone conversations related to the Middle East crisis, expressed her full support for the government's plans. Harris added that she supports Israel's right to defend itself while advocating for the protection of civilians. According to Hamas Health Ministry, more than 8,000 people, including 3,324 minors, have been killed since the offensive began, and at least 1,400 Israelis have died in this surprise attack by the Islamist group. More than 200 hostages are believed to be being held in Gaza. Israel has the right to defend itself without question, Kamala Harris said. It is very important that there is no conflict between Hamas and the Palestinians. While the Palestinians deserve equal measures of security, self-determination and dignity, compliance with the laws of war is also essential, CNN reported, citing Harris. On Sunday, US President Joe Biden spoke with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and discussed the developments in Gaza. Biden reiterated that Israel has every right to protect its citizens from terrorism. The two leaders discussed efforts to locate and free the hostages. Biden underscored the need of an immediate and substantial increase in humanitarian aid to meet the needs of civilians in Gaza. Amid concerns about the conflict spreading beyond Gaza, Harris also reiterated Biden's warning to Iran not to interfere in the war. Biden has repeatedly warned Iranian proxy groups such as Hezbollah, which the US government considers as a terrorist organization, not to carry out attacks as a cover for the war between Israel and Hamas. He had specifically told Iran to be careful and not escalate the conflict. The US does not have formal diplomatic relations with Iran, and it is unclear how the president issued such a warning. The Pentagon says US and coalition forces have used drones and rockets to strike at least 10 times in Iraq and 3 times in Syria. The US has deployed 2 aircraft carrier strike groups to the region to deter hostile actors from striking. Israel says more than 1,400 people were killed inside its territory, including 33 Americans. Hamas has taken about 220 hostages. The Gaza Health Ministry under Hamas said the death toll had risen to at least 6,546. The numbers have not been independently verified. On Wednesday, Biden said he had no idea Hamas was telling the truth about the death toll.